Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
I'm gonna have to come with you. No. When do we start?
Hey, welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome to the show.
This week, what do we got? We got all the pop culture news there is, except for the stuff that's happening at E3, because we don't really play video games. So, like half the pop culture news of the week.
That's fair.
Sports, big injury week, broken faces, snapped Achilles, and gunshot wounds.
It was not a good week to be a sports star.
Dark Phoenix, how'd it do? And another X-Men question.
Oh, more X-Men.
Well, hopefully a more positive one.
Oh, yes, one can hope.
Only real announcement from me. Now that the road construction is done, I'm doing a sale.
Ooh, sail me.
Why am I doing a sale? It's basically 40% off. Why? Because this last bit of it really hurt more than I thought it was going to, and I need to make up some lost ground.
Well, there you go.
Let's be honest here.
So 40% off everything but new comics?
Yep. And I was just like, time for sale.
Well, there you go.
Sometimes that's what they are.
Sometimes
I'm too honest about it.
You probably, actually, all the time are too honest about it. You should just be like, I'm having a sale, so there. Celebrate with me.
Savings coming to you. And it's like, more money coming to me. That's what it's about.
But economically, is it really more money coming to you if you're going to be able to go 40% off on things?
No, it's just making up lost ground.
Oh.
Just getting yourself on more of an even keel so you can move forward.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul, as they would say.
I don't know.
Would you gladly pay me tomorrow for a hamburger today?
So you're going with the hamburger one?
Yes.
No, whatever.
Okay.
That's just where we're at in the world.
Oh, good news then.
But
for
whatever.
The
road construction's done, so there's that.
It is really nice, though.
Oh yeah, this was worth it.
It totally was worth it.
No, it wasn't.
No, trust me. In the grand scheme of things, probably worth it. I'm sorry it was an inconvenience to you. And I'm sorry it was an inconvenience to everybody driving through Hollowell, but now we have nice, flat ground. Although
sometimes you say things and I'm reminded how much people on the outside do not get it at all.
But
not even a little.
Here's my biggest pet peeve about all this. They've painted down these nice new lines for parallel parking. Everybody I saw over the weekend was not parked inside lines. They were just parking wherever they wanted.
It's not the line's fault.
No, I'm not blaming the lines. I'm blaming the people who don't know how to park.
In front of me, there's a handicap space, and then there's another space in front of the handicap space. Look how you guys screwed that up. Like just a regular space, not like a second handicap space. Not like handicap spaces are at the end of parallel parking to make life easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not this one.
But is it near a ramp or something?
Nope.
Well,
Not even close.
I'm not in charge of laying out the parking in downtown Hollowell. They tore up that temporary parking lot that they had put in up where the railroad tracks used to go through.
Oh, yep.
I was kind of disappointed they do that. I mean, it was convenient to have there.
I had to go up there a couple of times, like when there was some flooding, but
yeah,
I rarely
not convenient for you.
No, flooding is never convenient.
No, for anybody.
But I think that's probably it.
Yeah, it was nice for spring to show up over the weekend.
And yeah, it's just gonna be a wet week again. It's been a wet summer.
It's not even summer yet. Summer doesn't officially start till next week. It's still spring. You say it's been a wet spring.
Oh, it has been. First it was cold, and now it's wet. Thank God.
Well, what comes after that? Black flies.
What a utopia we live in.
Yes. Yay, Maine.
But from there, I guess it's time to jump into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
E3 is happening this week.
Yay.
Nothing to say. Looked at a couple of things, but I'm not really playing any new video games, so mostly because I don't have the means to.
The Avengers game looks nice.
That thing is getting kicked around. Everyone hates that.
I think it looks neat.
I watched the trailer. I didn't react that strongly to it one way or the other, but man, everyone on the internet seems to hate it.
Yes. They have deep-seated thoughts.
Like, it looks like a mobile game, and the jokes are dumb, and the character models are dumb, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It didn't excite me. Like, I can say that for it. Like, when the Spider-Man game came out on PlayStation, I'm like, I want to play that. And I didn't, because I don't have a PlayStation 4, but when I saw this trailer, I was like, yeah, okay, that looks like a game, but it's from Square Enix, and they usually do good stuff. And then everyone was really excited about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know a single person who owns one of those.
I know some people who own Switches.
I literally zero.
Well, I mean, I work with teenagers, so.
That would help.
Yes. But isn't like the Nintendo Switch, you can make it a console or like a handheld?
Yeah, if you want to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
You can keep on playing.
You know what they have that does that too? A mobile phone.
I mean, I have a bathroom reader. Swamp Thing came out last week, met with great praise from critics. The fans loved it, and oh man, things were looking up for Swamp Thing. But after one whole episode, it was canceled.
Wow.
Despite its acclaim.
So the trailer was longer than the show run.
Well, they're going to have 10 episodes. Rumor has it episode 10 ends on a cliffhanger, but...
Guess we'll never know.
Right. Well, we'll know in 9 weeks, but yeah. The short version is... I mean, everyone seems to love this thing, but that we're...
Apparently not enough if it's getting canceled.
I forget what state they were shooting, and I should have written that down, but where they were shooting, they were being offered a tax break, and then there was...
Someplace swampy.
No, because they built all that on a stage.
Did they really?
Well, just to fully control it. You don't really want to be in a swamp.
Why not?
Because why?
Because you want to. It takes place, as the script says, in the swamp.
Yeah, and swamps are gross. That's why they have it in a controlled environment on a stage.
Did you not listen to Mark Hamill talk about the Dagobah swamp they made? That was more grody than a real swamp was.
That was also 40 years ago.
Point notwithstanding.
But they were supposed to get a big tax break, and then there was an accounting error, and it was basically, oops, no, you're going to get like half of that, and then they canceled it because it was going to be too expensive.
Jeez, it sounds like living in Winthrop.
Yeah, it does sound like our taxes are going up 11.4%. And also with AT&T buying out Warner Brothers and this app probably getting canceled, they probably didn't want to have a massively overexpensive CG-heavy show.
No, probably not.
I don't know. We'll see what this AT&T merger does.
What if you watch it and it's really good and you're disappointed you don't get more of it?
That happens sometimes.
That's fair.
Sounds pretty standard. Oh, I like this thing. Oh, it's gone now.
Okay.
Sigourney Weaver. She's back.
Aliens?
Ghostbusters.
Ooh.
Officially.
Nice.
That's almost everyone.
That is, well, yeah.
We're short Annie Potts and Rick Moranis.
Yeah, I don't think Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement, though. He's
talked about it.
He's been pretty adamant about, not. But that would be cool.
I don't know. There's the only 2 left, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got everyone. I'm all for it.
Bring it. Let's see it. Let's have
Sigourney
it.
Weaver's always so much fun and everything.
She's a great actress.
I mean, she was in The Defenders, but that wasn't her fault.
No.
She was not the reason that show was deathly boring.
No.
They did nothing.
You know what show I want to watch? I've heard so many things about it. I heard it's really messed up, but it's worth watching. Like, it's scary, I guess. I'm trying to determine, if the scariness is because of the realistic part of it and how it's just like...
Are you just talking about Chernobyl?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm I don't know why you're bearing the lead on the title.
Okay. But I feel like I want to watch Chernobyl.
Go get HBO, I guess.
I mean, just get Hulu.
Oh, is it on Hulu? I thought it was on HBO.
Oh, it's on HBO, but maybe I think you can get the HBO option with Hulu, can't you?
I don't know. I don't have Hulu.
Oh.
What do I know about Hulu?
I did get a month free, or a month of a free Hulu, so I could watch the movie Free Solo with my students. Which reminds me, I should probably cancel my Hulu subscription before I get charged.
Probably, yeah. That's how they get you.
Yeah, good point. Or, I mean, if they've got really cool stuff, might as well.
Whatever.
When in Rome.
Mean, who knows how long all these original actors are going to be in there, but yeah, they just keep on stacking on reasons for me to like this movie.
Yeah. Who's writing it?
Reitman's kid.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
His name is Jason Reitman.
Jason Reitman, yes.
But whatever, yeah, I'm all about it.
Bring it.
I don't think technically there's been confirmation on Ernie Hudson or Dan Aykroyd, but come on.
Yeah, they're going to be in it.
They'll be there.
Don't worry, friends. It'll happen.
If they're like, a payday,
money.
I think they'll come.
A film franchise that's licensed to print money.
A little more news on Tarantino's Star Trek movie, which still might happen.
Yes, I want this. I want it badly.
I don't know. I wonder if you could get, because I mean, negotiations broke down because of money, but if they're like, hey, we have kind of like an actual auteur doing Star Trek and it's going to be different, I wonder if you could entice people back.
Yeah, perhaps.
Or maybe they'll throw more money at it. Because what else is Paramount doing? Name me another Paramount franchise.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
And more Star Trek. Indiana Jones.
Disney owns that now.
Star Trek.
Yeah, there you go. But he has gone back on something he said before. Originally, he said it was going to be an R-rated movie. He's like, no, it's not going to be. Which is probably fine. It's more in tone with the world.
Maybe I want it to be R-rated.
Maybe different could be good, but I don't know. If you want to hear them saying the F word, you could just hop over to Star Trek Discovery with their potty mouths on that show.
The F word exists in the 24th century?
Apparently.
Wow.
It's used the same way it's used now, interestingly enough.
It has a variety of uses.
Basically, the other update he kind of gave on, he's like, look, there's a script that exists right now. I haven't had a lot of time to go over it. Like, I'm doing kind of, press and post on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But once that's done, then I'm going to kind of buckle down on Star Trek.
Yeah, do one thing at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. It's like, you're finishing up a movie, yeah, so... But if there's already a script, he just kind of has to do his own work on it, then, steps. It could still totally fall apart. I'd say there's even a pretty good chance it will, considering the last attempt at Star Trek did fall apart.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because I liked that pitch of, like, Kirk and Kirk, bring your father to work day. Your dead father. I don't know.
Isn't it like bring your son to work day, though? But I guess...
Yeah, but if you're bringing your deceased father and you have a fun new ship, it's bringing your dad to work.
I guess so. A fun new ship, and but he's dead.
That's why you had to bring him back. Yeah, because Star Trek's never done time travel.
That's true. Tasha Yar, she came back as a Romulan.
It's like, or a parallel universe. Oh, yeah, because she went off to go have a different career and it didn't go anywhere, so she begged to come back. I don't know if she begged, but I'm going to guess.
She's probably like, I would like money, please. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, but you're going to be a Romulan war witch now.
I didn't like this show, but it turns out no one else will hire me.
Yeah, but they killed her off after like 6 episodes. Like 6 episodes, she wanted out, but she's like, that was dumb. And they killed her really, the way they killed her was really cheap, too. She just like got near some black ink.
I'm glad that character, I mean, she wasn't very interesting, and when she went away, it actually gave Worf something to do other than kind of being there.
True. Very true.
And when they killed off, I mean, same thing with Geordi, when they killed off the chief engineer that was around sometimes, there's some growing pains to figure out what the hell people's roles were.
Yes.
I think subtracting her was a positive ultimately.
Yeah, because then Worf got to be the tactical officer.
Yeah.
And get told no a lot. Captain, raise shield. No, Worf. Captain, we should attack. No, Worf.
That's not an episode of Star Trek if he doesn't get beaten up.
True. Him or Geordi, they both take an ass beating, usually once a week.
But yeah, so that's the news on that. Hey, here's the return. The return of a segment.
Oh, is this where you get mad at internet people again?
No.
Oh.
Also, none of that stuff really matters because I don't really care.
If you
in
didn't,
reality.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't make it a segment on your podcast.
Yeah. It's time to gab about Bendis.
What? All right. I've missed this segment.
What is Bendis up to now?
We're gabbing about Bendis. It's this week's news about Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis is back.
Man, that is catchy. That tune.
You don't even know what it is.
It's gabbing about Bendis.
Oh, that is actually very close to what it
See?
is.
There you go. Screw you, Bowen. Screw you right in your screw hole.
Because they're remaking Scrooged. Speaking of Scrooge.
What? I did not hear that.
With Kevin Hart.
Damn it.
I know, I care
It's going to be like Medea Family Scrooged.
That's Tyler Perry.
Whatever.
Just mixing up black people now?
You can't say that.
I didn't do it. You did.
I'm sorry that I confused people. Great. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Make me feel like a jerk. Hope you burn your mouth on your tea.
But Bendis is doing a couple of Superman books. He has been for a while. Just started a new event out this week. Buy it. I have a lot in stock of Event Leviathan. You know it's an event because it has the word event in it.
Yes, it's an event.
Helpful. This is very direct marketing. But he's been teasing something called DC Millennium. Some of the teases...
Is it like the Millennium?
Yes.
Ah, excellent.
We've talked about that album too many times on this show. Do you think Chris Hemsworth is going to rap at the end of Men in Black?
I hope so.
Just an Australian rap?
Yes.
I don't have an example of an Australian rap in mind, but, he'll summarize the entire plot of the movie, really let you know what happens.
That's the men. Here come the men in black.
I don't-
Galaxy Defenders.
Maybe he can do it with Pitbull. Remember when he did the Men in Black 3 one?
Will Smith didn't do the Men in Black 3 one. That was just Pitbull.
I know, but
on his own.
It's
It's Mr. Worldwide to you, okay?
It's not a very good
It's
song.
Mr. Worldwide to you.
Oh, God, he's the epitome of Florida.
That'd be Flo Rida.
Just shaking my head slowly at you.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff Bendis has been teasing is Batman Beyond.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, they've had a spin-off of that character in, like, a continuation of the show. And there's always hints about Batman Beyond, like, the suit and stuff. I mean, even there's a book out this week that has 2 Batman Beyond suits in it. But he's also teasing the death of Superman again.
He died once, came back.
I mean, I don't know. The term, like, DC Millennium, like, are they going back and, like, rehashing some old events from around the millennium? I mean, Death of Superman was early 90s. Batman Beyond was mid-90s. Close to the millennium.
The early 90s is, yeah, but I wouldn't say early 90s wasn't, like, close enough to the millennium to call it. I feel like it'd be, like, things like right around at 2000.
I mean, what was Superman doing in 1999? Being a blue Superman and a red Superman? He was made of electricity. It was weird.
Is that when he had his mullet?
Post-mullet, but then he was electric blue and electric red. He was split into two characters.
Oh, kind of like Captain Planet, because he was blue.
I mean, he was just literally like, you could look up Superman Blue if you want on your phone.
No,
and
that's all
look
right.
at how stupid that design is.
Captain Planet, he's a hero.
But I don't know. Just keep on following Ben to see what he's going to do. We'll see what this Millennium thing is. Whatever his next big thing is after his current event.
Yes.
They have something to do
Will they announce it as an event?
I hope that everything is just not called event : something.
Yes.
But the other bit of comic book news that just came out, I mean, as we're recording, so by the time you hear it, it won't be as true.
What do you mean it'll still be true? It just won't be new.
new.
It's not like it's a car when you like drive it off the lot, it depreciates. It's not like when you say something, it becomes less true every time you say it, unless it's a lie.
The Phantasm of Mask of the Phantasm is coming into comics for the first time. It's a good movie. You ever seen that movie?
Yes, I've seen Mask of the Phantasm.
Damn worth watching.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen it.
I know, I'm just saying. Damn well worth watching.
I'm surprised we have not reviewed it for the show.
It's a good movie. I don't know.
We may have to get that bump in numbers.
There's a really long intro. It's a good fight scene. Batman's sad a lot. And it was the lady all along.
Yep, thank you. There.
Quick summary.
And that was our review of Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, the Joker pops up for the last 10 minutes to...
Spoiler alert. Joker around.
do Joker stuff, I guess.
Because they wanted to pay Mark Hamill, too.
It's really random that he shows up. I mean, I'm glad he's there, but he just does pop in at the end. He's like, hello, Mark Hamill here.
I'm here doing a thing.
But yeah, so that's going to be in the upcoming Batman Catwoman series. It's coming out in January. I don't know. I think that's cool. That character, it was fun kind of one-off, but I can't believe they haven't done anything with that character in like
25 years.
Yeah, about 25 years. So why not strike when the iron's hot, I guess, DC?
You know, why not?
But everyone's talking about the Phantasm.
They're pacing themselves.
Whatever, I like the idea. I'm happy to see the character, and it could be a totally different version. We don't know. It just has that like exact look from the 90s, from the one image we've seen. It's not what Catwoman does.
Oh, sorry.
She does say meow a lot, though.
Meow.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Okay, good.
Especially in the 60s show.
Who's your favorite Catwoman?
Oh, like live action?
Or just in general, live action or voice?
So
If you say Halle Berry, I'm leaving.
No, I was trying to think of who were the... I mean, I'd probably say like the Darwin Cook version, but it's not what you're looking for. If we're saying...
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh, what's her name? Not Lee Merriweather, not Eartha Kitt. The other one, the first one. The one who did most of it, but what's her name?
I don't know.
Damn it. Julie Newmar. There we go.
Oh, okay.
No, she's a lot of fun on that show. She's always trying to like make Batman be evil.
Well, all the Batman 66 stuff is fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. F-U-N, fun.
But I guess that's it for pop culture news of the week. From Iceman's ice slides to regular old ice hockey.
That's terrible. That is god-awful.
Then you write these.
I've been asking to for a month, and you've said, no, I worked really hard on these.
If you can come up with one,
I'll come up with better ones. I will come up with way better ones than this junk. This is terrible.
You don't have a creative bone in your body.
I totally do. I slept away more creativity last night than you've had in years.
It's time for Jared Sports Reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Tell me I don't have a creative bone in my body. I don't see any of your paintings hanging up in your house that you painted.
Painting is you can't paint.
I painted. Did I not show you the painting I made one night?
At your like paint by numbers class?
It was not paint by numbers. It was a blank canvas, and I made it into something special and beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that remedial ed class went well for you.
It was not remedial. I paid top dollar. Regardless, let's talk sports.
I'm sure it's going to look great on your fridge.
It actually is hanging on my wall. It's legitimately canvas. It's not a little watercolor thing that you dip in the water and you rubbed it over the paper and it made paint. No, it was real paint, real canvas, real art. Thank you. But I
bet you huffed your whole way through that.
That's different. I was finding my creative muse.
All right, sports.
Let's start with the NBA because I just want to get it out of the way because it's not really the top story, but I know you want to talk about it. But Kevin Durant out for the rest of the series, tried to play in the NBA Finals, but the rumors are ruptured Achilles tendon, so he'd be done for quite a while.
Yeah, he's getting an MRI in New York. He flew out to New York to do it for some reason.
Probably because it's easier and closer to fly to New York than it would be to fly from Toronto back to California. And being at altitude with an injury like that is not good for the injury.
Oh, there you go.
So, shorter flight.
But yeah, he did 11 points in 12 minutes. And if you watch the video in slow motion, you could see that sucker snap.
Anyway, moving on from that, because nobody really cares about that. We want good sports.
Oh, a lot of people care about that because this is going to completely change free agency. Everything was really structured around what is Kevin Durant going to do.
Well, it changes everybody's plans because he's not going to be available in free agency.
He is still. I mean, he has a player option that he can stay at Golden State for $31.5 million and basically just get $31.5 million to recoup, or he can try and get someone to sign him on a longer term deal and try and get closer to 40. But then is anyone going to do that because there's not a guarantee that he's going to? I mean, he probably won't play next year.
No, he's going to.
And then there'll be another year of like getting back to himself. So he really won't be good until he's 33.
Yeah, I feel like he would pick up the player option because he's going to be on the shelf for a year. It makes the most sense for him, and it's in his contract. So, but they can pick up the player option, and then Golden State can try and trade him or something like that. But
that's also a possibility. But because there's been all this talk, especially it's like, oh, he's going to be going to the Nets or the Knicks with Kyrie. But now that's probably off the table. What does that leave for Kyrie? That also kind of throws into the air this whole series. Like, what is Kawhi going to do if they win? And they probably will. Like, because he's also going into free agency this year. But is he going to want to get a championship and then move on, or is he going to want to stay in like literally a country that reveres him? It's not just the city of Toronto, it's all of Canada.
Yes.
So it really opens up a lot of stuff.
It does.
And then we're moving on to game 6. Kyle Lowry went for the buzzer beater, but Draymond Green got a fingertip on it. It was hard to tell, so everyone's just been bashing Kyle Lowry for what looks like a terrible shot, but
his
it
fingertip
was
did not to the extent that it went behind the backboard.
He still got a hand on it.
Yeah, but not enough to deflect it that significantly to be that far off target. Regardless.
Whatever, it's been a fun
Moving
series.
on. Do we want to talk Bruins or Big Papi first?
It's your choice.
Let's end on a positive note.
Shot to the face or a shot to the back?
Well, that's old news though. Chara is taking and breaking his jaw on the slap shot that he blocked and still playing through it. Let's talk about David Ortiz. David Ortiz was shot on Sunday night in the Dominican Republic in the back. He has been flown to Boston, where they did more exploratory surgery on Tuesday, which is today when we're recording.
It was like in the back through the gut.
In through the gut. No major organs were hit, obviously, but there was some damage done to some intestines and gallbladder. But they kind of have zeroed in a little bit on why this all happened.
Originally, they were saying attempted robbery.
No.
Did you see the guy, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
They were, I guess before he was handed over to the police, everyone in the Dominican Republic decided to use his head as a soccer ball.
Yes. Oh, did you see
the
video of that? That was brutal.
I saw a couple of them because there were different angles.
There's been some reporting, and I just want to double and triple check this, but allegedly what the reporting is that, and 3 law enforcement sources have confirmed the motive, according to the Daily Mail in the UK. Let's see. It's been reported by other outlets, but allegedly what happened is David Ortiz was having an affair with the wife of a drug lord who took out a hit on him.
Okay, I haven't read this. No, I'll double check this later. I'll let you just.
Yeah, that's what I said. Now, whether
this doesn't
or not
sound real.
Whether or I.
This sounds like a bad romance novel.
It does.
A Harlequin novel. Let's keep it in the vein of.
Yes. Let's see if I can find the article for you.
Is this a legitimate source?
I'm pulling up the New York Post now. David Ortiz may have been targeted by a crooked cop hitman. Authorities in the Dominican Republic, former Red Sox slugger David Ortiz was shot in a plot involving a cop hired as a hitman. So Ortiz his representatives saying it was an act of a hired gun. So somebody placed a hit on David Ortiz, essentially, is what some of the reporting sounds like.
Like when I pull a Thanos here, then they should have gone for the head.
There's been no real corroborations about him having this affair with this drug lord's wife. And it could be a case of mistaken. Maybe this drug lord's wife was having an affair.
Just to be clear, I don't want David Ortiz to die. I'm just saying he's a bad hitman.
Oh, yeah.
Let me clarify that statement.
Yes, but it sounds like this was an act of hired killers. It was not a robbery attempt. These are representatives of Ortiz saying that. And people have kind of picked up on reports that the drug lord thought Ortiz was having an affair with his wife. So really some interesting stuff going on with this. Hopefully, it's not true as far as him having the affair with the drug lord's wife, but...
You're really in love with that sentence right now.
Drug lord?
Affair with the drug lord's wife.
I think it's a poor life choice myself.
Oh, yeah, I mean, don't do that. It's always a bad idea.
But
certainly don't give them a foot rub.
Regardless, that's more of a Rex Ryan New York Jets joke when he was with the Jets.
I was more going for Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah, that's also a good reference. So really, all the circumstances and everything that are involved around it will come to light. But more importantly, David Ortiz is in Boston. He's getting really good medical treatment, and hopefully he's expected to make a full recovery. But this is just one of those what moments. Like when you first read that David Ortiz has been shot, you're like, oh my God, and it was an attempted robbery. And then you see the video and like, that does not look like any attempted robbery. It looks like an attempted murder. And then you get the stories coming out that this may have been a hit called out on our David Ortiz. And it's just absolutely crazy. It's absolutely wild.
That's weird.
It is.
This only happened a couple of days ago. I'd like to wait for a few more days before having a judgment call on all the information that comes out.
No, but I think that we can safely say that, or mostly safely say that somebody wanted David Ortiz dead, and the reasons behind it unclear. I think that's safe.
Weird.
I think it's safe to say that somebody did want him dead. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know, because I'm just getting it from you.
Oh, what do you? You saw the video. You saw the video on the social media.
I saw someone shooting a video from far away, like the wrong angle. I couldn't really tell what was happening.
Oh, it's like security camera footage.
Yeah, it was like sideways and all this stuff. I don't know.
I'm wondering now, like, is this like what it felt like if you were like a Tupac or Biggie fan and they got shot? Like, is that how they felt? I don't know.
Weird comparison.
Well, I don't know. Then finally,
David Ortiz is
finally the
high
good
roller
news
in the world of life.
Well, he's Big Papi. So finally, we get to the happy news. The Boston Bruins have forced a Game 7 with the St. Louis Blues in the Stanley Cup Final. Zdeno Chara starting to look more and more like himself. A big 5-1 road win in Game 6 to force a Game 7, which will be back in Boston. A lot of people are saying that they wave a rally flag before the start of every game, and people are saying it should be Tom Brady wearing a David Ortiz jersey and then chug a beer afterwards. And Renee Rancourt comes out and sings the national anthem, and the Bruins win.
And this is the first Game 7 in Boston since '84?
First Game 7 ever in Boston for the Stanley Cup Finals.
I thought I saw that it said 1984 was the last one.
That may have been the last Game 7 for like a sporting event. It'll be the first Game 7 for the Bruins in a Stanley Cup Final in Boston. It'll be the first one in the TD Garden. So, for a Stanley Cup Final.
That last game, it wasn't that entertaining of a game.
No, I mean, the Bruins came out, they took advantage of the early power play, and they just got to shoot the puck on Bennington. If they can continue to put tons of shots on goal and stop being picky about when and how they shoot, I think that good things are going to happen to them. And Tuukka Rask has been just, knock on wood, he's been solid, absolutely solid.
Yeah, then a Game 7 will be fun.
Game 7 is, I think, I love a lot of the sporting things, but even when there's a team in it that I'm not really following or pulling for, a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final is nothing like it. I think it's the best Game 7 out there because it's just it's fast. There's so much passion. Like a Game 7 in baseball is just kind of, it's nice, it's special, and a Game 7 in basketball, but like there's something about the Stanley Cup. A Game 7 like in baseball just seems to really drag, and I think
you're literally just trying to pass the time.
Yeah.
So we're killing time here.
Yeah. I think it's harder to enjoy sometimes because it's just if you're following the team, the anxiety and the stress is so stretched out over like 3.5 hours. Hockey, it's boom, boom, boom. But then you've got that.
Well, it's boom, really long break, boom, another really long break, boom.
But as the game winds down, like the clock ticking, the inevitability of the end is coming. The team that's maybe trailing or both teams are really efforting to get that goal to break a tie or get a lead. It's just something about it. It's really special.
Yeah, it'll be fun. By the time we come back next week, 2 championships will have been played.
Yeah, this will be, I think, what was I reading? It would be one of the earliest finishes to both the NHL and NBA season. Like, if the NBA finals had ended last night, it would have been the first time, I can't remember how long, that the NBA season was done before the NHL season.
I mean, they might be done. No, NHL, yeah, because that's Wednesday for.
And people really kind of rag on how long the NBA playoffs take, but they actually seem to be kind of well, there were a lot of sweeps this year.
Yeah, that helps.
So that's it for Jared Sports Reports. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess we can't put it off any longer.
No, we can't.
All right. We are moving on to our review of X-Men Dark Phoenix.
I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do best isn't very nice.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
As we do for each and every movie, we're going to start with non-spoilers, although probably not that many, because no one came out to this movie. No one cares.
Oh, it's been, What did I see? They're going to lose like $100 million.
Yep. Did you just read that?
No, I didn't just read that. I read that earlier.
It's one of my notes. It's literally my first note.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a $100 million loss. Or I guess it would be. I don't think it even counts as a loss anymore because now Disney owns it, so they didn't really front the money in the first place.
Yeah, but it's not doing well.
No, it was second in the box office its opening weekend. Secret Life of Pets 2 beat it. And even that underperformed, and it still beat X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Wow.
The reviews are the worst for any X-Men movie ever.
It just...
And what's strange about this is the guy who's the writer-director, Simon Kinberg, this is his second bite of the apple. He wrote X-Men The Last Stand, where they tried to do the Dark Phoenix story before. When do you get that chance? When does the same writer-director, or the same writer, get to try and do the same story twice? It happens occasionally, but that's rare.
And botch it twice.
Yeah, this is...
Your hopes went up a little bit after
that Twilight Zone episode. Yeah, that was a fun episode.
And then you get absolutely smacked around by this movie, which is not good.
No, it's some of the non-spoiler stuff that doesn't really matter. This movie, they keep on doing the gimmick of jumping up. It's another decade. They look the same as they did in the 60s.
Yes.
And they don't do anything with it this time. At least like when it was in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, they played around with the decade a little bit. It's the 90s. You know what they do with that?
Space shuttle.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Captain Marvel had all of the 90s references, and this one went, that's too many. Let's have none.
Yeah. Well, they were like rewrites, and a lot of the rewrites and reshoots were due to the Disney acquisition and the similarities to Captain Marvel and Civil War.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I forgot to talk about that story. Oh, well. Screw it. I'll say it in 10 seconds. There was at one point there was a secret project to do a X-Men, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Deadpool movie where Johnny Storm was going to go supernova, blow things up on accident, and then they were going to have their own civil war.
Oh.
But then that movie didn't happen, and Mr. Fantastic was going to like make his arms like one molecule wide. He cut off Wolverine's arm in the middle of it, and Daredevil was there for some reason.
He's the man without fear, just hanging out.
And that's a movie that never happened.
He wanted to see it with his own eyes.
Jeez. But yeah, so that's
too soon.
That's a movie that never happened.
Is that too soon for Matthew Murdock?
Sure.
Okay.
He's been around since like 1962.
Oh, but a blind joke.
But they don't do anything with the actual decade, so it's now a pointless gimmick. There isn't even an attempt to like, I mean, you could say like James McAvoy, he's bald, whatever. So
yeah.
You could say he's a little harder to age up. But Michael Fassbender's character is supposed to be in his 60s, and he just looks like Michael Fassbender.
He does.
They don't even like throw like a little gray in his hair. Like they could do a minimal amount of effort to try and do something with his age. Instead, they took the opposite route, which was no effort.
No. The opening really felt like one of the Harry Potter movies where Voldemort, where Dumbledore goes and meets Voldemort.
I don't remember.
I can't remember which one that was. It's like Order of the Phoenix or something.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I can't remember.
Oh, that was a good addition to the conversation.
Yes, thank you.
But, man, this movie, I think a lot of the actors don't even bother to try. Some of them do. I just brought up Michael Fassbender. There's a scene where you're probably not supposed to laugh, but he is making the silliest faces you've ever seen when he's using his powers. He's also using his entire body. Like it's a big strain for him, and he's like, mouth is as wide as it can be.
Yeah.
Screaming. And I wish we could just like take away all the special effects, take away the music, and just see whatever that take looks like. Just, because it was,
yeah.
Oh, he decided that was the scene to overact.
Oh, he did.
He went all out. Jennifer Lawrence is barely there.
No, she's not in it very long.
Well, the trailers show her dying, so if the trailer spoiled it.
Yes.
I thought when that happened, you know what my emotion was?
Oh, there.
Yeah, nothing. I lit not a twinge, not.
It was like, oh, so that's how they killed her.
Not sad, not surprised, not anything. It was just.
She got the Wolverine treatment.
Yeah, it was the same. But I felt nothing.
I thought McAvoy was okay in this.
He was weirdly buff.
Oh, Xavier's been working out.
Apparently, he's like, I don't care.
Just because I can't walk doesn't mean I can't lift.
Yeah, he was strangely buff.
Arm day, every day.
And chest day, and neck day.
Well, I mean, Xavier has to skip leg day.
It's not really a complaint. I was just like, oh, he didn't care about being like, I'm a weak old man in a wheelchair. He's like, no, I've been working out.
Yeah, look at me. No hair, don't care.
No, he wasn't bad. He doesn't bring a ton to the table, but he's not bad by any stretch.
No.
And the question, how do we get rid of Professor X in this movie? Oh, his powers just don't work on the people that we need to work against. So they didn't fully take him out, put him in a coma, put him in a jail cell, have a weird Oscar Isaacs, put him on a slab. No, his powers just didn't work when they would be handy.
Yeah, that's fair. He's just kind of so he could be on the screen, but not effective.
Yeah, they didn't blow him up this time. They didn't give him a drug.
But every time, like, he uses, like, I don't recall Patrick Stewart ever putting his hand up to his head to make things work.
No, but McAvoy started doing that in First Class.
Yeah.
So he's been doing that all along. I don't remember if Stewart ever did that or not.
Kind of over the top, I think. Yeah, we get it. You work telekinesis, Xavier.
Jessica Chastain is in this as the villain. I guess we don't need to spoil it now.
Yeah.
Or we can. I don't care. Look, it's an alien.
No,
They have aliens now.
Which I was like, are they Skrulls? Because they were shape-shifting.
They might have been originally, because Fox there was like a shared rights thing with the Skrulls, because they're originally Fantastic Four villains. But she is either barely there or overacting, so I legitimately laughed a couple of times at her performance.
Yeah.
Just because it's so over the top. And believe me, that was the only laughs this movie was getting. They were not interested in a fun mood.
No, they were not. They even dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Was it? Or no, was it?
That was Cyclops.
Oh, yeah, it was Cyclops. I mean, I don't have a lot of thoughts on this movie other than it just felt like it was a movie that was in no man's land. You could tell it's a franchise that's getting ready to be in transition.
It felt cheap.
It felt like they had a direction they wanted to go, and the direction was changed.
We see like maybe 12 students in that school. I'm like, boy, they couldn't even like hire extras for this.
No.
And they're all just people. None of them look any different.
Yeah, not a lot in the way of powers.
There's a pretty interesting... There's 2 halfway decent fight scenes in this, but I have thematic major issues with it, so I guess we could probably move on to spoilers. The answer, should you see this movie, patented rating system of see it in theaters, red boxes, or don't bother, giving this a solid don't bother.
Or is it? I thought it was kill it with fire.
It changes. You can't don't set anyone on fire over this movie.
No, I'm gonna call it a rainy day red box. A rainy day red box. If you've exhausted your red box options.
If you've seen the other 12 X-Men movies or however many there are, and you just have to see how it ends, I don't know, wait for New Mutants.
Fair enough.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
All right, let's spoil it. This movie sucked. There you go. There's no spoiler about it.
Well, it's not as offensively bad as Apocalypse or as useless as Wolverine, or X-Men Origins Wolverine, let's clarify.
Yeah.
This movie, I think, is the actual worst one because it betrays its own theme.
Okay.
So this movie starts out and we have the X-Men are now accepted worldwide. People love them, and that's a positive thing. It's a different spin on them. And then the actions of one of them, a destructive action of one individual, changes the national conversation about this minority group.
Yeah.
This is interesting. That's a really big thing. You could ask, like, how do we, as a nation, respond to something like that? What's right? What's wrong? How are things that we've done in the past? Should they be different? Should we address this in a different way in the future? Let's talk about this kind of major racial issue. You know what they do with that idea?
Throw it out the window?
Literally nothing. By the end of the movie, we don't even know how the world feels about the X-Men or mutants. We're told that they're no longer feared and hated, and then something happens, and then they save the world again, and at the end of the movie, we don't know anything. We don't know where that stands.
No, they just kind of leave it be.
So, this is a potentially big theme that they could tackle, but they entirely betray that theme of fear of the minority by the end of the movie for the sake of a cool action scene. Because what happens? They come across another minority, a group there. We don't actually know their feelings. We know the feelings of the leader, essentially refugees. And what do they do when they're confronted with a new and different minority group?
Nothing.
Kill it as violently as they can.
Must die, must kill.
This knife goes in kidneys, and we're just going to cut throats and have you be run over by trains. So they entirely betray their own theme by the end of the movie for the sake of an action scene.
Yeah.
Which I think is what makes it the worst X-Men movie. It's a special kind of movie to just totally turn on yourself.
It just, again, I feel like probably, because some of the stuff I had read was that the movie had its own direction and they were going to go that way, but there was too many similarities to Civil War and Captain Marvel. It was kind of like, we can't do that anymore because Disney's like, nope, too close, too similar.
Yeah, but you could still have a different ending where you don't portray your own idea.
That's fair. You could do that. The
just
ending,
crazy thought.
The ending was just so
violent and
random. Extremely violent and random. But then on top of that,
are they bulletproof? Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Depends on the bullet. Depends on who's shooting the bullet. But then the other piece, I don't know, just from the top to the bottom. I mean, Sophie Turner tried. She really did. I felt. I don't think she was horrible in this movie, but she wasn't great. I think she was kind of handcuffed by kind of what was going on. And
Do you know what my favorite part of this movie, or aside from the movie betraying its own ideals,
okay,
is Beast. Beast decides that after Mystique dies that he's going to go kill her with Magneto. He betrays the X-Men. He fights them, all trying to get to Jean to murder her. You know who brings that up ever again?
Nobody.
Not even a passing comment. Not even a, dude,
Yeah,
what the hell?
There was none of that.
Remember when you tried to kill her? We were fighting
But you could see the Civil War theme in there, like the group splintered all over one thing.
Yeah, but then they never mention it again.
No.
And that's
the
hilariously
worst.
terrible.
If you have a fight with your friend, the worst thing that happens is when they never talk about it. Like you think you buried the hatchet, but you're not sure, and you're not comfortable enough to bring it up, and they're not comfortable enough to bring it up. That's no fun. Nobody likes that.
This movie also does a bad job of introducing villain or New Mutant characters. Like, there's a couple, and I had to look up on the internet who they were supposed to be. One of them is just totally made up. Guy who grows dreadlocks.
Yeah, aggressively grows those
I was trying to
dreadlocks.
figure out I'm like, who is this? Like, I'm not getting there. And then it turns out entirely made up. I'm like, okay, so, there aren't hundreds of characters to pick from.
So his death is inconsequential.
And then one of them is supposed to be Selene. I'm like, that was Selene? In what world? But whatever.
This world, apparently.
Magneto yells her name once, but it's like as a train is like, crap, they identified her, but I couldn't hear it.
What did you think about what they did with Charles and made Charles very egocentric and
that's
kind of like he was almost in some ways one of the antagonists in the movie.
I mean, I'll steal the line from Kitty Pryde. Professor Xavier's a jerk.
Okay.
He always has been. He's always been about my child army.
That's fair. But they really hit on it. They forced him into retirement, dude.
Yeah, but then we know with Days of Future Past, he comes back.
Oh yeah, good point.
And that Jean's fine.
Well, I mean, if he can come back after being vaporized, I'm sure she can too.
Hey, I'm not that worried about it.
Her essence.
And then in Logan, he just kills them all.
So we really know how it ends.
Yes,
you want to skip everything? Just watch Logan.
But I'm not going to forgive that for what I was saying. Like, we don't know how the world feels about them. Like, well, there's 2 other movies that kind of like, no, that's not good enough. This movie doesn't tell you how the world feels about the X-Men. We go from having literally a bat phone to the president.
Yes, with an X on it.
To just, they really abuse the X's in this movie too.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
There's a lot of X's.
I like when he picks it up. Hello, this is Charles Xavier. I'd like to speak to the president. Yeah, new phone. Who dis? That's pretty much what the government did to him.
Yeah, but
that's exactly what
know.
They new phone. Who dissed them?
But that was the last one where we tried to deal with the idea of like, how does the world feel about mutants? I don't know. That was an hour ago. We don't care anymore. For a movie also called Dark Phoenix, I know that Jean's supposed to be the center of it all. But at the end of the movie, I'm like, who even got screen time in this? I feel like no one actually had that much screen time. They get rid of Quicksilver in 5 minutes because he's too powerful. I kind of forgot about him. Then he pops up at the end. I'm like, oh yeah, where were you?
Yeah, he got messed up in the...
You know how these new movies, oh man, they love to have that cool Quicksilver running scene. Well, if you saw the trailer and you saw him taking 2 steps on a thing, that's all of it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Because then Jean takes all of that away from him.
He just falls down. And then he's out of the movie.
Which is also like very similar to what they did with the Flash and Superman in Justice League.
Yeah, it was. It was the whole, and that was a stupid scene too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you. I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, I think
it was generally disappointing.
The action scene is fun if you don't think about it. Also, Nightcrawler gets weirdly bloodthirsty.
Yes. Oh, super bloodthirsty. Nice use of the word bloodthirsty, by the way.
He barely had lines, but he was happy to scream while stabbing people repeatedly with a short knife.
And his tail.
So the first one, because at first, like, Beast comes in and slits someone's throat. I'm like, that's new.
The one thing I did like about the train fight is everyone kind of had their set piece that they got to be highlighted for a moment. Storm, Magneto.
He clearly could have been more useful. He takes out a bunch of them, and then he can't figure out what to do with the rest.
That's a good point.
You're in a metal train, asshole.
Yeah.
Crush him, like you just did with those first 20. He's like, but now there's 5. It's not enough to crush in a train. I need to be at least double digits. Also, how many aliens were there?
A lot.
Varying numbers from scene to scene.
Yes. More than one, less than 100.
Great.
Then more than 100. I like the train fight better than the steel yard where Jean just goes ape and just destroys everybody.
I should say I didn't mind it. The only reason I like the fight in the middle where it's like Magneto and Beast against them is that Cyclops finally does a trick shot.
Yes, off the mirror of the car. That was cool.
It's the only time he's ever done it, so I appreciated that moment. Get out of here, Moth.
Like a moth to the flame. He's dead now.
I caught him.
You didn't catch him, you killed him. There's a difference.
I caught him to kill him.
Oh, okay. Something different. Kill it!
Yeah, basically. I learned from X-Men Dark Phoenix. And they weirdly go back to like the original X-Men movies of having like unnecessary opening and closing narration.
Yeah.
The only thing missing from this movie is that annoying title sequence where you just fly around something for 3 minutes for no reason. So I'm glad they didn't do that again. Also, one of the X-Men producers put it out on Twitter. She's like, no need, Laura Donner. She's like, no need for condolences. I had nothing to do with this movie. Like, not a thing. And then she deleted the tweet. But, you put it out there so people screenshotted it.
Yeah.
So do you have the producers? It's like that Josh Trank tweet all over again.
Yeah.
Where he was like, I used to have a good Fantastic Four movie. Now it's crap. And then he deleted it.
Yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just reminding you.
That was like...
Because you said yeah, but you didn't really know.
No, it took me a moment to put two and two together. All right, let's move on from this junk.
Yeah. Boy, 19-year franchise. It's mostly mediocre. It's mediocre bad, and then there's like one great one.
Yeah.
That's not true. The Deadpool movies are fine.
The Deadpool movies are fine. I think the first X-Men movie's fine.
Oh god, no, it's unwatched.
Yeah.
It's paced so slowly. At the time when it came out, it was magic because nothing like that existed. But now, if you watch it, it's just like
Days of Futures Past isn't bad.
No, that one's not bad. The ending isn't very exciting, and I have issues with Bryan Singer.
Okay. Yes, well documented on this show.
Yeah.
All right, from there, let's move on to letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
When Disney reboots the X-Men, what characters would you like to see reboot it?
That's a tough question.
I can give you the easy one, but I don't think it's what they're going to do.
Please don't say Wolverine.
No, I think you wait a movie on him.
Gambit?
No, I was just going to say, do it like the comics did it. Do the original 5.
Okay.
And then the only reason I say you probably wouldn't get that is because it's just 5 white kids, and the X-Men is very much about diversity and different worldviews. It was like starting like around 1975 with Giant Size X-Men #1. But I'd be interested to see a progression of the X-Men. Like, you don't like this series that we saw, they just jumped in and everything was kind of hunky-dory. You never got to see that in any of these movies. In any of like these 12 movies, you never got to see that original core group. And that was something I always thought was missing from it. I'd like to see that. And you could even build from that. You could start, maybe do it right next time, but you could start hinting towards Phoenix stuff. If you have a game plan early on and do it over a trilogy, you could introduce characters like the Brotherhood, but do it with Mastermind, and he's already like working Jean from the beginning to turn her dark and all that stuff. And then in the second movie, you could introduce that giant size group, get rid of a few of the originals, bring in like Colossus, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Storm, and that's where you start getting those more familiar elements. But I think you need to take a movie to separate yourself from the Fox stuff.
And get a good clean reboot.
Which, I'm even saying characters that have been in a bunch of these movies, because that's, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Beast, Angel. Granted, Angel never got much play, and Iceman didn't get a ton either, but I still think that, I don't know, that's what I would do. I would do it like the comics.
Rogue?
I wouldn't bring her, you could bring her in a second or third movie. She was never done well, so you could try and do her fresh.
Now, would you want Magneto to be the villain? Who would the villain be?
In the first one, I would definitely do Magneto and the Brotherhood, because I think you need to, again, kind of scale it. Like, you can have him be the villain, but then you can start working more of the not villain, but antagonist side to him in future movies. Like, if you start bringing in the Hellfire Club, which is another school where they have, it's like a weird BDSM villain school.
Huh. Okay. To each their own. No judgment here.
Victorian style as well.
No judgment here.
And then, then you could get big and do like, third movie, like maybe the second movie, like Jean dies, comes back as the Phoenix, that blows up a planet. Third movie, you do the crazy space side of Dark Phoenix Saga. Like, you get the Shi'ar coming to imprison Jean, and they have to have this massive like battle on the moon and all this stuff. Go nuts.
Have at it.
But I think you should start small and scale up.
There you go. You stole my answer.
So I say the original 5.
Stole my answer. That's what I was going to say. Word for word.
You can pick your own characters.
I don't know. I like kind of more street level. I like a more street level X-Men. That's what I want. I just don't know who those characters would be to be street level. I guess that kind of was with Wolverine.
Yeah, I think you got to wait on him for a minute, though.
No, yeah, because you need to cast it right. You need to get a new Wolverine. It wasn't going to be Hugh Jackman.
I also think you need to make a statement about the X-Men movies not being about Wolverine.
Yes. You also need to make a statement. It's a new X-Men universe from the other universe and the other movies. These are new X-Men.
The bitch is you're never going to do better casting than Patrick Stewart.
No. Or Hugh Jackman, for that matter.
I don't know. That one, I think you can get another muscly, hairy guy.
I don't know. He
was great. I absolutely love him.
Yeah.
He's the only reason to watch most of those movies.
True. I don't know. It'd be neat to see some of like the lesser known X-Men, but I think you're probably right. Start with that core group and build up from there.
Oh crap! I was gonna say, well, you could start with the New Mutants, but they're gonna do that as the last movie, so that doesn't even work.
Nope.
Damn it.
Well,
yeah, because you can't go too obscure. I don't think you could do like a Generation X thing, and I don't know. I think you just kind of bring it back to basics and create a series. And that's the nice thing about Kevin Feige is he's very good at this.
Yeah.
Is you create a series with an intentional plan. That's something that all the X-Men movies failed miserably at.
There was no overarching.
There was no plan. None of it makes any sense. Timeline-wise, character-wise, age, none of it pans out into any kind of coherent narrative. I mean, even this movie, like, ignores stuff from the last one. They're like, oh man, Jean got hit by the Phoenix Force in space. Like, in the last 5 minutes of Apocalypse, she went full Phoenix. What about that? You can't even be accurate 1 movie ago.
I think that's what makes the MCU so special is they had a rough idea of where they were going to go and they stuck with it.
Now they have they're more than rough now. Now they got a specific idea. There is a clear ass roadmap and it works. Man, I can't wait for Spider-Man. That's going to be good.
Yes, it is.
That looks really good.
I can't wait for Spider-Man to see what the end credit scene is going to be.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because that end credit scene is going to be so big and teeing up the next phase.
Yeah, we're going to be getting... Yeah, because I think D23 is in August, and that's when they'll announce the next slate. I mean, no guarantee on that. I'm just going to go out on a limb there.
No, well, true.
Well, because right now they just have...
That's probably when we'll get our last Star Wars trailer, too.
Yeah, we'll get one more after August. They'll do 3.
We'll get one at D23, and then we'll get one in November, maybe.
Yeah, probably close to that. But I don't know. Now we're just talking about Marvel movies. Because, yeah, they just have those untitled Marvel movie down for the Disney slate. It's like 2 next year, 3 the year after that, 3 the year after that. I'm going to say one of them is... I'm not going to say what it is just in case people haven't seen it. But one of them is just quietly filming right now. There have been no announcements about it.
Ooh, mystery.
You can look it up. There's set photos.
Oh.
But they just haven't said anything. They're just quietly filming a movie so they can announce, it'll be ready for next year and they'll announce it at D23.
Well, good for them.
But if you look at the internet for 5 seconds, it's like, ooh, that one. I won't spoil it.
Okay.
Just in case.
All right.
It also doesn't really matter.
Well,
but
you can tell me and then edit it out. Oh, yeah.
Well, it hasn't been officially announced. We all knew it was coming.
Yes.
But yeah, they're set photos. Isn't that fun, though? They're just making a movie, not telling anyone.
And no one's, like, looking actively for it, so.
Yeah. But I think that'll do it for this week. Next week, I think we're going to do another unproduced script.
Ooh, where you read to me a story and I go, what the hell?
Yeah, basically. So you just have to show up next week.
Oh, that's perfect.
Do even less work than usual.
That's, and I already do the bare minimum. As long as it isn't a tantric sex spider dance.
The worst. I don't know if I'll ever find
top
anything
of the Brooklyn
to
Bridge.
top that. Oh God, I kind of forgot about it.
I have been in counseling.
He puts his arms in his, raises his arms above his head and kind of dances at her. If you haven't heard that one, that's a fun one. That was James Cameron's unproduced Spider-Man script.
Yes. Anyway, all right. Well, if you like the show, please help and support us. Go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you this show a whole day early. Plus, you get spoiler and spoiler-free podcast, exclusive Patreon podcasts on the week's releases of Buffy, Angel, and Firefly. $5, you can be a Duke or Duchess of the podcast. Get your very own recording that you can do whatever you want with. It's a great gift for the person in your life. Zach's located at 210 Water Street in Hollow. 40% off everything in the store except for new comics. The end of construction sale. Zach, very excited to help you save money.
Yes.
Also, you can visit him online, editorsnotecomics.com. He's also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. That's the new thing the kids are into, TikTok.
I haven't heard of this one.
It's like it's like a Snapchat video thing, but you put music to it. It's kind of dumb. Don't bother.
You didn't sell me on it, whatever it is.
I wasn't sold on it when the kids talk about it, but that's all they want to do now is TikTok.
No.
So, did I miss anything about you that's important?
I guess not. You're on Twitter.
At Junior Rich.
Yeah, next week, find out the story and see if it's any better of that first time Batman and Superman almost fought in a movie in 2003.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back. Bye.